Record. All right. So welcome again. Once again, this is Akwemi Manuel on IT Center. Well, that person's network is like okra. Please, can you not see anything if you know your network is drawing? All right. So let's get started. I'm going to start a new what's it called now? A new window. So you go to your VS Code, pull up a new window. Just to, I don't affect my current work that I'm working on. So I'm going to minimize that. So a new window is coming up. I'm going to start a new file. Let me just go to my foundational class folder. Yeah, so we're going to start. I hit my Control N on my keyboard and I have a new what's it called now? A new page. So I'm going to spin up like I used to do my basic HTML page, which everybody should know by now, right? Then the body tag, I'm going to spin that up, and then you move straight into the body area. And then what we're doing is that the first thing we do, like everybody already know, if you have been following us for the past few days, I'm going to save into my foundational class. I'm going to give it a name. So this is going to be called the YouTube HTML. And then the first thing I want to do is to break down this page into boxes. It's very important. And these boxes I'm talking about is a mental model that you should get used to. Every website is usually in boxes, right? You can break them down into divs or into containers, right? So you can always imagine something, even if they are floating, even if there's an animation, that animation is always contained inside the container, right? So always imagine your pages in boxes so it makes your life easy. So the first thing I want to do is to break this page down into boxes or containers so that it makes our life easy. And then by the time we get into React, for those that will join the bootcamp eventually, when you get into React, you will learn something called components, reusable components that will make even this page more interesting, because now all of these guys that are up here, they are just bunch of reusable components. Even these guys here are a bunch of reusable components. So, but because we are not in JavaScript, we are not in React yet, we are not in any any framework yet, we'll just stick with doing our normal stuff in HTML CSS, right? So we won't bother. All right. So somebody's raising his hand again. What?
Sir, we can't see your VS Code screen. We can only see the YouTube's.
Oh, interesting. Oh my God. All right. Let's see. Sweet that screen. All right. So. All right. So let me just close this so that I can. Yeah. So I believe you'll be able to see both now. So as I was saying, I'm going to start by drawing boxes just to kind of represent this screen in a way that you can all understand it. So if you look at this screen, what we have here is very simple. We have always the major box, the major container. So that is the white guy out here, right?
So it's I can't see your screen. I don't know. I'm only seeing this YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube screen is what we're showing. And anybody else see my red line?
Yes, sir.
All right, so please, can you kindly follow along? All right, so I'm breaking the page down into boxes, right? So there's always an outer div, there's always an outer container, and that's the major div that houses every other div or every other thing. So this red line I've just drawn on the screen is the outer container, is the outer box. So you can, from that outer box, start breaking everything else down into boxes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now divide this into the header part. So inside the main outer container, we have this first header section. Sorry for my line that is not straight, but something like this. So we have, oh my God, let me undo that. So we have this, this line that is here, or the header section, which is this first box here at the top, right? So get used to these divs right now. So we have this div, and inside this header section, we have three other divs, which is this one on the left, the search area here, right? And then this one on the right. So we have the outer box, we have the header, which is this one at the top, the header, and then inside the header, we have three other divs, which is the left side, the middle side, and the right-hand side. The right-hand side contains this upload icon, the bell icon, or notification icon, and then the profile image. And then on the middle center, our center area, we have the search box with voice search. And then we have all of this guy at the top, right? And then the main body. So below the header is the main body. So just imagine that all of this here is the main body, right? So what you want to do is that you want to be able to, if you see something that is happening here, let me just remove my annotation for a bit so that I can show you something. I'm going to close this. If you see that the page scrolls, without the header and footer moving, you have noticed that the page is scrolling without the header and footer moving. So if that is the case, what you want to do is that you want to be able to know that this sidebar on the left and this guy at the top, they are quite different from the body that moves, right? So you need to know how to do that, right? So what I'm going to do is to show you how that is being done. So I'm going to divide this sidebar into two halves. So this is one half here, right? And then this is another half here, right here, right? So this is the second half right here. You can mute yourself if you are not muted. So this is second half here. So inside this middle area, then we have all the cards, like that. We have all the cards. So sorry for my lines that are not so fine, but I think you get the idea of what I'm trying to represent. So we have the main container. Inside the main container, we have the header and the body. Inside the header, we have three divs, which is the left, the center, and the right. Inside the body, we have the left hand side and the right hand side, which is made up of the sidebar and the body area. And in the body area, we now have a bit of different sections. So if you scroll a bit, so we're not going to look at everything because of the time. So we're not going to do, they're all different kind of short videos, YouTube shorts, and then the normal video. So we're just going to concentrate on this first part because of time, and then we can finish that up. So let's get started. So like I said, imagine the boxes and let's start spinning up those containers. So I'm going to bring up my YouTube page. So the outer container, like I said, I always like calling it container, which is the outer container, right? And then in that outer container, we have two sections. We have two sections. We have the header area, right? Which is at the top. Someone is not muted still. Can you mute yourself? Know yourself. We are not muted. Mute yourself. Okay, so we have the header area, and then we have below the header, we have a body, or let me call it the main area. Let me call it the main area, right? Inside the header, as you can see, we have three more sections. We have the left-hand side, the left header. You can call it the left header. Then we have the center header, and we have the right header. So I'm just going to name them like that. Right header, that's what makes up our header. Then the main area is made up of two sides also. Let me undo that. I want us to capture that div. Yeah, so inside the main area, we have two sides, which is the left, let me call it left main, and then the right main. Right, we have the left main and the right main. That's what we have. So let's keep going. And then the last thing, I don't think we have a footer here. Let me see. I just want to see if there's any footer, anything at the bottom. So there's nothing like that, except maybe at the bottom of the main area, right? It's an infinite scroll. So it keeps scrolling, it keeps appending more. As you scroll, it goes back to database and fetch more additional content. So I'm going to leave it as this. So let's get started now. I'm going to clean my annotation so that we can see the screen better. So I'm going to just wipe the annotation off the screen, clear our drawings, and then we can get started. So this is what it looks like. So I always prefer that we see both screens as we move on. So this is my screen, and then we're going to start with the top here. So in the main header, we have, like I said, the left header, the center header, the right header. In the left header, which is the first area we're going to concentrate on, in the left header, right, we have just the logo and we have an icon there. So we're going to be introducing a type of icon today. So we have not done this in the past, like I said, in the first and second class, because we have not introduced icons, the use of icons to you guys. I'm not going to be using anything I've not taught you. So, but today, because we have quite a lot of icons on this page, it will not make sense to do this page without icons. So I'm going to introduce a particular type of icon to you. And the simplest way to know the icon on your, so if you are giving a design, for example, the Figma design I gave you guys, if you are giving a design, you can easily know you can easily extract the icon from the Figma design. That's the easiest way. Just right click, export, and double click down up until you reach the icon, and then you can export the icon, or you can check for the name. You can even ask the designer what kind of, so icons comes in library. So you have material icons, you have font awesome, you have Iconify, you have different kind of icons. There are a lot of icon libraries, right? So you can check them out on Google. But what's important is that you need to know how to get the right icon and then use the right thing. So what I'm going to do is Google has their own, they have their own library. So I'm going to just check the name again. I think they use material icon. Google has material icon as their icon. So I'm just going to check the name of the icons here. If we can't find it, we are just going to use another type of icon, but let me check the icon they are using here. This is YT icon. So this is a library for YT icon. So I'm going to go Google that, YT icon CDN, and let's see how that works. So this is YouTube font or some YouTube play, blah, 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 icon 8, YouTube icons, blah, blah. Let's see what we have there. CDN YouTube icon logo, code pen, CSS, YouTube icon, let's see. Right, so we're looking for a okay, so these are all just bunch of, all right, so if I can't find that, I'm just going to probably use my icon for now. CDN. So a CDN is a content delivery network, is a public library that allows you to use different libraries, right? Say more like a repository for libraries. So a CDN is just a content delivery network that people can use to host or keep stuff or files online. So you can check for any CDN for Bootstrap, for any kind of library at all. There's always a CDN for something online. So just the way you have different kind of libraries online, you can have a CDN for all of that. So I'm going to check out this guy, if I can use this guy. So I'm going to copy this link. So I'm currently using Materialize. There's Materialize, there is Material Icon. This is Material Icon CDN. You can copy this and put it in your edit tag. And once you copy it, it will give you a list of ways that you can use their icon. So usually they come in classes. Once you include that class, and once you include that class in your page, the icon will show up, right? So I'm going to try Materialize. I'm going to use Materialize now. Copy the link, right? Once I've copied the link, I'm going to go into my code and I'm going to paste it in my edit tag right here. As you can see, I've pasted it in my edit tag right there. And the way I can test it is to just copy the example and then try that within my edit tag and see what that looks like. So once I launch my page, I'm going to go launch my page now. Where's my functional class? Where's that? I can't find any of that here. I've not opened that page today. So I'm going to just simply go into my window and bring up my foundational class folder and launch my work. Right, so foundational class, YouTube, where are you? So I'm going to drag and drop on the page. So this is my YouTube page, right? So it's working. So this is the plus sign we just tested with Materialize icon, right? So because that is right? So because that is working, we can go ahead and start our work. So we can start using Materialize icon. So let's go back to YouTube. The first thing we want to look for is this icon right here, right? This icon right here is a menu kind of icon. I'm going to look for it under the Materialize library. You can go into, let's see if we have anything like a menu icon here. So I can try to use this instead. I will not waste time because I didn't really have time to go through looking for all these specific icons today before the class. So I'll just adapt as it goes. I might not be able to find all of these icons specifically because I'm not using the YouTube library specifically. So I'll just use any other icon I can find. So something similar to this will be these apps, or if I can still find a menu icon, like a menu icon or something like that. Yeah. So we can use any of this. All you need is the name. Once you get the name, I think I can do a search for menu. Oh, beautiful. So I find menu. So now if I want to, design my page, all I need to do is to insert the name menu right here. Menu. So you just put menu here, put the name in there, And then if you save that, you go back to your page, you refresh this, you should get a menu. That's how you get the icon. Are you guys still with me? Confirm you guys are still with me.
Sir,
Everybody's
sir.
all right, great.
Yes,
All right, so let's move ahead.
100.
All right. So that's how you get the first icon. So let's proceed. So now we have the menu icon. The next thing we want to do is to drop the YouTube link. So I'm going to just copy the image address. I won't waste time on that. I'm just going to drop the image address. So I'm going to, create an ahref here, which is a link, right? And I'm going to create an image, which is the source. Image with a source allows us to, quickly drop an image into a page, and then into the center. So that's what we have in the left header. The left header is made up of the menu, and then the menu is actually a link. So I'm going to probably, drop it inside a link right there so that it's clickable. So the menu is a link, and then the image is a link. So if you go back to our page, let me just drag this beside this guy so that we can always see that together. All right, so that's it. So we have the YouTube logo and we have the menu bar icon. So we're going to style them soon, but I always prefer that I deal with a particular section. So we're going to deal with this header section by, spinning up all of the content or components in there. Then we start styling to make it look nice, right? So the next thing we want to do is at the center of this screen. At the center, we have a search box, which is, let me create a div first, or let me create a div just to house, because there are two things in there. I'm going to create a div, an input box, make a placeholder in there, and then call it search. And then I'm going to create another div, which is a small button with a search icon. So I'm going to look for search icon with our icon search, materialize. So I'm typing in my search bar search. So let's see if we find search. Yes, so we find search. So this is search icon here, right? So you can easily use that search icon. Code Cafe, can you go ahead? So I'm going to do my material icon. Go ahead, Code Cafe, you have a question, you're raising your hand. I'm going to do search right here. You don't have a question anymore? Was that a mistake? Okay, all right, I'll go ahead. So if you can see what we have on the screen, so I have my left header. I was still dealing with the header section. Inside the header, we have the left header, the center header, and the right header. In the left header, as you can see, we have two things in there, the menu icon and the logo. At the center header, we have the search box and the search button, and then the microphone here. And then at the right-hand side, we have notification for upload, the notification bell, and the profile picture. Those are the three things we have there. So that's where, so I'm still dealing with the center here. So I have my search box and I have my button for search icon. And then the last thing I have there is this, is the, what's it called? The voice note there, the microphone. So I'm going to look for microphone, mic, just do a mic, it's a mic. Okay, so we have a mic, right? We have a mic. So this is a mic. So we have that mic. Now, the next thing we want is on the right-hand side. The right-hand side, we have the profile picture, this icon. So let's go and deal with that. So that's how you do all of these things, right? It's very easy and it's straightforward. It's very simple, very, very simple. So you want to bring in your icons again. So, but this time it's a link. So I'm going to turn this into a link, right? I'm going to turn it into a link, and then I'm going to change the name. I don't know what the name of this thing is. It looks like a camera. So since it looks like a camera, I'm going to search for a camera. Camera. Where's camera here? If you can't find the exact thing, they'll just probably do something else. It looks like a camera with an addition. Okay, so if you can't find that, we just use something else. Switch video.
The video recorder.
It's a video recorder. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's recorder here. Video recorder. Video. Okay, there's nothing like a video recorder icon here. So then I'll just go with the. Okay. Oh, this is a video call. Beautiful. Thank you very much. A video recorder led us to video call. So I think it looks like a video call icon, right? Something like that. Yes. So I'm going to use the video call. Then the next one is the notification bell. I'm going to just duplicate this, right? And then the last one is the profile picture. So let's look for the bell notification bell, notification bell. Okay, this is it. Notification none. I'm going to use a light one without the fill. There's one with the fill, the dark fill, the one without the dark fill. So I think it's the one without the dark fill. So we're just going to use that on the second bell. And then the last one here is not an icon, it's just a profile picture. So we're going to drop an image there, right? And I'm just going to grab my image here, copy my image address, and then just drop it right there. So that's it. So if I refresh my page, I should have something very similar to what we are looking for. Where's my page? Okay, I think I've dragged it close here. So very ugly, but it works. So that's it. So now we need to style everything and make it look good, right? So we're almost there. So let's start styling. So for you to start styling, I think by now you should be used to using an external style sheet. So today, for the first time, I will not write my style within the same page. I'm going to be linking to an external style sheet. So I'll link to href somewhere called style.css, and then I will do type is CSS, and then maybe rel is style sheet, and then so by now you should be used to doing this. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it start with the header, or let me just start with body, and then I will say margin is none. So by default, there is by default the browser adds a bit of margin and padding to your page. So every website page you should have you should remove the padding and margin that is manually added to your body page, right? So you remove that. As you can see here, you can see this thing is not touching the end of the screen. Let me just show you what I mean, so that you can be aware that it's always there, so that you're not wondering why is my page not. If you look at the body right here, you can see it. You see the yellow, or is it the pink now? I can't remember what the color is. Is it yellow or pink or something? Whatever you can see on your screen. There is this margin of 8 pixels that is added by the user agent, right? It's added by the user agent. So that's what I'm trying to remove. So you should have this body margin 0 by default in all your CSS. Just have it as the first default styling. Body margin 0, padding 0. That will yank off everything. So if I refresh now, you can see everything touches the end of the screen. That is the way your work should start, so that you are not having to interfere or fight artificial margin and padding added by the browser. So let's move on. So the next thing we want to do is to make sure everything stands on a straight line and they are well spread out. So like I said, I prefer always working within a real-time cursor here, so that I can play around with all my stuff and just copy it at the end of the day to my style sheet. So if you look at my work here, everything is still really looking nice here. So I go to my container, I go to my header. The first thing I want to do is to vertically align everything to the middle. I'm going to click on this plus sign. If you see this plus sign right here, anytime you click on it, it's going to trigger the currently active ID or class. It's going to trigger it here and create a block for you. So you can see I can activate any of these elements within this section on the left. So if I currently activate the header and I click on this plus sign, notice what is going to happen around here. It's going to create a block, a CSS block for me. So I can click inside that block and then I can start styling the header. So now I'm starting to style the header. So the first thing I want to do is vertical align top. That's the first thing. And then the next thing I want to do is to make my display block. And then I can copy these two things. And then also I want to make my width 100%. I think it's already 100%, so I don't need to bother. So I just copy that and paste it right here. The next thing I want to do is go to my left header and make, look at it. So the left header, the center header, the right header, all needs to allow each other to stay on the same line, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give them a certain width, and I'm going to give this guy a display flex instead of block, so that I can, make this guy equally spaced out, right? So I'm going to, or another I can do is to give them specific width or specific percentages and make them display inline block. Any of this works. So if you want to go with the grid method, you can add specific widths to each of the columns and then make the display inline block. That's one way. The other way is that you can also apply a display flex to the container or the parent header and then give a specific width to this guy. Then the display flex will spread them out on the same line. So I'm going to go to my left header and then give left header a width of about, let's say about 10%, right? And then displays inline block, right? Then the right is also going to be something similar to that. Let's go to our stuff and paste it. So I'm going to also put a comma here and use the same styling for the right, because the right and left about 10% or maybe 15% should be fine for them. Then the center should be roughly about centers about roughly about 45%, right? 15 plus 15 is 30. 30 plus 40 is 70, is 45%. And then display line block also. So I'm going to copy this one and paste it right here. And then now that I've done display inline block for the left, the right, and the center, and the widths are not up to 100%, all of them should stay on a straight line. Can you see that? Can you see that? So that's fantastic. So the next thing you want to do, like I said, is to apply a bit of vertical alignment here so that everybody stays in the right place. I want them to be aligned to the top. So let me refresh this, and then we should have that. So that being done, the next thing you want to do, I wouldn't know why this guy is coming down. So let's check why there's a space up there. Is it because it's an href? Okay, let me align all my A's to be aligned to the top also, if that's a problem. Okay, that's fine. So maybe middle, yeah, middle is fine. So that's it. So because the A's are kind of jumping to the bottom, so I've aligned all my A tags, my anchor tags, I've aligned all of them to the middle, right? So that being said, the next thing you want to do is to start styling now, right? So you want to start styling. So let's start with this guy. Let me just, instead of using this, let me change this to display flex. Instead of block, flex, and then justify content, space between. Right. All right, so I'm changing to space between because I want to force everything to, I want to force every content. So there are 3 contents within the box: the left header, the center header, the right header. They are all within the headers, right? But because I gave this 15%, 15%, and 45%, it's not up to 100%, right? So the spacing is not up to 100%. I can manually start adjusting. I'll do the math myself and say, this is 15 plus that's 30, that's plus 45 is about 75 or so thereabout. So I can manually increase this to something that will make it 100, right? But if you don't want to do all of that math, you can just apply a display flex to this guy, to the main container, and then automatically give the justify content space between. Space between means, I've not taught you flex, but let me just explain space between. Space between, if you can see the color code on the screen, you can see the left-hand side, the YouTube, and then with the search, there is this box with the lines, the grid lines. And you can see another kind of color code like that, like a purple color on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So that equally spaced out everything. That's the function of space between. So it pushes everything apart with equal spacing in the middle, right? So that's what I've achieved with that display flex. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste that within my code again. So replace this one right here. Sorry about that. Paste it here. What did I copy? Okay, maybe I didn't copy everything. Okay. What did I copy? I think I copied just half of what I needed. So I'm going to paste it again. Okay, so that's it. So the next thing we want to do is to quickly work on the left-hand side, because right now it's left aligned. The content on the right-hand side is left aligned, but if you see what we're trying to match up with, is not left aligned, is kind of centered aligned, is right aligned on the right, but is equally spaced out on the left, on the right rather. So I'm going to do that here. So if you see, if I inspect this, what I'm going to do is go to my right-hand side here, right? And then I'm going to tell right-hand side to be to be equally flex. Let's see, equally flex. And then I'm going to tell it to be justified to be space around this time around, space around. Oh, but what I'm doing now is affecting the other guy. So I'm going to not apply it here. And then let me align item center. Yeah, so that it's well spaced out. So don't worry, when I teach flex, I will touch flex on inside our JavaScript course. I'll teach you flex as a topic for a particular day because flex is in a world of its own. So you'll be able to know how to use justify content, align items, and all of that. So I'll teach you how to use that, right? So I'm going to copy all of this now and paste it right within my, what was that now? I think it's this guy. Yeah, that's the correct thing. So the last thing we want to do here is to make this a circle and reduce the width, right? So I'm going to right click on it, inspect again. The guy here, we have not given it a class. So I'm going to give this guy an ID or a class so that I can talk to it and style it. So I'm going to go look for my avatar. I'm going to call it avatar. So this is it here. This is the wrapping. So because I might actually find, why I'm using a class here, like I explained before now, that an ID is used uniquely for one to style only one element, while a class is used for styling multiple elements. So if I apply a class now, I can reuse this class name in another picture, and whatever style I've applied to this avatar as a class name, it will apply to every other place I use avatar. So that's why I'm using a class, so that I can reuse whatever I do to this picture in another picture, right? So I'm calling this class avatar and come here. Let me just quickly apply what it needs to look like here, then copy it over. So I'm going to, come here and then do a border radius of 50%. 50%. Supposed to give me a block. Border radius, sorry, border radius. Okay, so let me apply it on, if it's not working on the A link, I can apply it on the image directly. So I can apply it on the image, border radius, 50%, yeah. Then the width can be like 100 px, no, 100 px too much, maybe something like this, like a 40, yeah, something like that, or maybe like a 20 or 30. So this is the styling, right? Border radius is 50% and then width is 30 px. So I'm going to apply, don't forget, it's not working on the A because the display of the A is a bit different from the image itself. So I'm going to apply it on the image. So I'm going to go back and change that my avatar away from the href and then apply the class to the picture itself, which is the image tag. So I can come down here and switch this to a class, which is a dot, and then call it avatar and paste my styling right there. And then I think this thing is very wide. So I'm going to reduce the percentage I gave to my left header and right header. I think the spacing here is too wide because the space allocated to this, the 15% allocated to this right hand side is too much. So I'm going to give it 10%. So I can reduce that. You can see it's a little better. Let's cross check to what we have here. I think it's looking almost close now. Exactly. So it's a bit the same. It's a bit close. It's not the same, but it's close. Yeah, so that's it. So the next thing is the center area here where we'll style the rest of the thing. So let me quickly do that. So I'm going to go in here. I've not given this input box a class name or an ID, so I'll do that just to be able to identify it and style it uniquely. So let's go into the input box and give it a class name and call it search. Call it search. Call it search. So search bar or something like that. And call it search bar, right? So you can refresh this so you get up the class and then inspect, and then let's style the search bar. I'm going to click my plus sign. I bring up the search bar. Am I losing anyone? Please, can you guys confirm you are with me? And I have 16 chats. I'm not even looking.
Yes, well, it is.
Go on, sir.
Yes,
Anybody
sir.
lost? Is it complex? Are we following each other? Are you getting what I'm doing?
I'm following you, sir.
All right. So you guys are following. Thank you. So let's move ahead. So I've clicked on I've right clicked. Let me mute this guy. This person's microphone is. Oh yeah. So let's start. So I've clicked on my search bar, I've clicked on the plus sign, it has activated the code block. I can click inside right here and then start styling. So width is about 80% of the screen, right? Something like that, 80% of the screen, or maybe 70% of the screen, right? Then the height, let me just use padding to push the height up about 10 pixel, you know, something like that. I think about 15, you know, and then what else do we have there? The border radius on the edges about 6. The border itself is about 0 or 1 pixel solid. And then a very light color. I don't know what color that is. It's very, very tiny little tiny color. So the next thing we want to do is to yeah, so we want to push it down. So, but let me copy this first and then we push it down. Where's my styling box here? So we're going to paste the search bar style. This is the input search bar. So the next thing we want to do is to push everything in our header a bit down from the top. So I'm going to just add a bit of padding to this guy, and then alignment, align item center also. But apart from that, I'm going to add a padding from the top. This is what gives me padding from the top. So I'm going to push it down about 10. Yeah, so I'm going to copy all of that. That's line 5 of my style CSS, line 5, where are you? Line 5 is here. I'm going to paste that styling I just added. So the last thing I want to do is to style these two guys here. So I come to this search icon. I'll give it, let's give it a name so that we can style it properly. So I'm going to give that search icon a name. So come here, call it search icon, right? And then search icon, or I think I will give the, instead of giving the icon itself the name, I'll give the button the name so that I can style the button instead. And then this last guy here, I'll give this one microphone, call it mic, right? So that's it. So yeah, so let's get started. So I'm going to right click again. So what we want to do here is, because if you see here, this edge here cannot be curved because there is a lock. There is a lock between, or I think even our brother does, but there is a lock between the search box, this search button, and the input. So even though you can do all of this, because I've not introduced it to Bootstrap, I know some people will be saying, all this hard work that this man is doing, why is he not using Tailwind or Bootstrap or, you know, any of the CSS framework? Yes, you can easily do all of this with CSS, with Bootstrap or any of the CSS framework. But because I've not thought that, I don't want to. And it's important that even before you get used to using Bootstrap, right, you should know how to style yourself. You should know, you know, how to use CSS raw CSS. You should understand the, you know, the raw CSS. Just the same way you should understand raw JavaScript before you move into frameworks, right? Because it will help you, just the way you should know raw PHP before you go into Laravel. It's very important. If you don't know all of these foundational languages before you go into a framework, you are just robbing yourself, right? So I would advise, so that's why I'm not just jumping straight. All of this can be done with Bootstrap. There's Bootstrap classes or Tailwind classes or Chakra UI and all of that, you know, that you can use that will make this work very fast and efficient, but we are not there yet. We are just in foundational class, right? So let's eliminate the curved border radius at the edges of this input box, and then key these guys together, and then add the border radius to the end, and then make this a circle and be done with the header. Wow, this class is going to be longer than I thought. So let's do that. So we're going to, you know, remove the border at the top right and top left. So I'm going to go border top right radius 0, and then border top left and bottom right radius 0. As you can see, it's gone. So I can copy all of that, and then I can paste it in my style sheet. For what is that again? What did we add that to? Line 32, input search bar, line 32, input search bar. I'm going to paste it right there. That eliminates the curved edge here. And I think the curved edge also here is too much. The original curved edge is about 4, not 6. If you refresh that, you see what I mean. It's not that much. You can see it's 9. So let's also, let's add this guy here. The search button. Let's start the search button. So the first thing I want to do is to remove the oh, sorry, search button. So click inside there. The first thing I want to do is to make the border bottom left radius 0 and the top left radius 0. Then the border itself will be transparent, and then the padding maybe top left, blah blah blah, maybe something like let's just give it an height instead. I'll give it an height. Okay, what is pushing it around? Something is pushing it around. There's a div, they are both inside a div. So what is making it go up? Something is pushing it around. Let me see what that is. This is a button, this is a button, this is a div. Okay, so what is pushing it up? What is pushing it up? Okay, maybe vertical align problem. So let me make it vertical align middle or bottom. What's pushing it up? Okay, so what I can do is to eliminate the button altogether because there is an artificial height that I'm not seeing. Because now, okay, let me see what let's see what happens to you. Okay, so bottom, and then you can be the same height. All right, so that's it. All right, so that's it. We have that now. Then you want to just slightly position it and lock it in. So I'm going to use a position relative, and then I'm going to push it on the left just to lock in into that guide. And of course, the width can grow better than that. So I'm going to bring out the width a bit. I don't know how much width I need, but let's see what we have there. Yeah, so something like that. And I think there is a border around it actually. Okay, so there is a border around it. It's just soft. So I'm going to return the border back. So there is a border of about not transparent, about 1 pixel solid. Are you guys with me? Can you hear me? 1 pixel.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Crystal clear.
It's not clear. What did you say? Can I hardly hear you? All right, so I want to remove the border left 0. All right, so that's it. So all these are all the styles. So if you can go over it again, you can see we have our CSS, our YouTube search bar. So we have the YouTube search bar. We have the border bottom left radius, which is right here. We removed it as 0. Border top left radius, right here, we removed as 0. The border entirely around the 4 sides, we made it 1 pixel solid and a gray color. The height is 47. The vertical line is bottom so that you can lock to the base. You can see initially it was vertically aligned to the top. So that was why it was growing and it was not matching. So I had to force the alignment vertically to the bottom. Position relative, so that you can lock together on the mount there. I shifted it to the left with the position relative, and then the width was 60 pixel, and then bottom border left. Why I added border left here to 0 is because there is a border on the right of this search box, and there's a border on the left of this button. So both of them are creating a double border here. So I have to remove one of them. So if you look at it, if I remove this border left, you can see it's thicker. So you can see here that it's thicker. Can you see that? When I remove this border left, the border in between the two of them is a bit thicker. So I have to eliminate one of them. So this is the styling for this guy. So we can go back to our work and then paste our search icon. The last thing we want to do is this microphone. I'm going to click on the plus sign to activate the microphone. First thing, of course, vertical align to the bottom. Vertical align to the bottom to bring it down, bottom, base, bottom. Then the height is 47, like again we saw there. Then the border at the background is transparent. And then the border radius, as we saw there, is 47 because it's a circle. And then the width must be 47 because it's a perfect circle, right? Then we can shift it a bit to the right, using a position relative to the right is about 10 pixel to the right somewhere here. Or we can just even use, instead of manual shifting with position, you can just use a margin the left to push it away, just to create. I don't know how much spacing is needed there, but let's see. So it's very close actually. So there's no need to even shift it with any margin. I think the space right there is fine. So that's the styling for the microphone. Anybody, any questions? Are we together so far? And we go to the next section. So we're done with the header.
Yes,
so
sir.
this is what the header looks like. So I'm gonna leave this left-hand sidebar with you because this is very simple. It's just an AHREF, right? Okay, so maybe I will start with, I will not finish it. So let me just quickly go in here, and then you can see we are done with the header. So this is the header. We just nailed out the header now. The next section, we want to go into the main area where we have the left main and the right main. This is the left main, or we can even call this the sidebar instead of calling it main. This is the sidebar, right? This is the sidebar, and then we can call this one the I don't know what we'll call it, whatever. Let's leave it as the right main or content. Let's call it content. Let's call it content. So inside the main area, we have the sidebar and we have the content. So this is the sidebar, and this is the content. Then inside the sidebar, like I said, I wanted to leave it for you as assignment, but I think it's something I can put for a few minutes. Excuse me. So always use LLIs, ULLIs, anytime you have a sequence of items following each other, anytime you get a pattern, right? A pattern of item, right? So here you have on the sidebar right there, you have an icon, and then you have an icon, and then you have the, what's it called, the label. So you can grab an icon, just grab the icon and the label. So I'm going to close the header back, and then you can go down. I thought I closed the header just now. Close the ring. Close the header so that you can have space to work. Then, so what you have here is the entire thing. You can see the entire thing is a link. Both the icon and the label, they are both links. So what you want to do is to have an icon, which is what we have here. So it's first of all to have a link, and then to have an icon, and then inside the icon or beside the icon is a label, which is home. So I can change this to home. I think there's an home icon in materialize icon. There's an home. So you can then duplicate the rest. Just highlight, Shift Alt down on your arrow key will give you all of this, right? So in JavaScript, instead, when we get to JavaScript, you will do something called array mapping, right? So you just have a bit of a JSON. So all of this menu icon, all of these guys at the top, all of them will come from a JSON payload, and then you just map over it. You just map over it, and then you get a list of all of this. So you don't have to duplicate and duplicate and duplicate like this, which makes your life easy. So I'll leave the rest to you. I'll just do a few of them, maybe like for the first 4, right? Shorts and then the subscriptions, right? So let's look for all these icons. I think you already know how to look for them, so you can look for them, but I won't waste time. I'll just leave it as home. So if I refresh now, I should get my sidebar right here, all looking ugly, right? So the next thing you want to do is to style it, to style the sidebar, right? So what you want to do is to look at what the sidebar looks like. There's a good nice spacing between the icon and the logo. There is this overlapping background color on highlight on over. There is the active state and all of that. So you might not go into all of that right now, but I'll just style it and fix it like this so that you can see how this works, right? So let's go ahead and start this. So I'm going to go here. The first thing I want to do is to drop these lines. There is this line. So I think there is even a bit of a mistake in what I drew out in my, because I can see that there's a scroll bar. I didn't notice this scroll bar initially. So I can see there's a scroll bar here. So that means that actually this screen is not divided into the header and the footer. It's actually divided into the left sidebar. So this logo is part of this the entire left sidebar. So if you can see the scroll bar, there is like this entire left side area here. So this logo is at the top of the sidebar as against being part of the header on top. So what I'm saying is that there's a correction I need to make there that I just saw now. This entire thing here is together. It's together. This entire left sidebar is together, and then this right-hand side is together. So that's actually the real thing. It's not the other way around. It's not this way. It's not like it's. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think for those who are following the class, I think they will get the picture I'm trying to paint. So this logo should be part of this part. And then this part is like this, right? So that's the way it is. So I will make that correction swiftly very soon. So well, let's deal with this styling here. So the styling here says that we have this spaced out icon, and then you have the background and all of that. So I'm going to do that now. Go back to my screen and then right click. The first thing you want to do is to remove all of these bullet points. You don't want that in your list. So I'll go to my list itself, which is a UL. I'm going to activate it, and I'm going to say on my list, I don't want list style type none. That removes all of that. Then what you want to do next is to copy that and paste it just to have that saved up somewhere, so you don't lose it. Go to your style and then paste it there. Then go back to your code, go to your list itself, and then you want to make your aside and your, you know that there are two sides here. There is the aside, there is the content. So I want to restrict my aside to the sidebar. So I'm going to go into my sidebar, activate it, call my sidebar a width of about 300 pixel. Let me see how far 300 pixel is. Okay, that's about good. Maybe something like here, about 270 thereabouts. Then display inline block, or I will not even bother about the display right now. Or maybe, yeah, let me bother about display. I'll call display flex, and I'll call the, okay, let me just call it inline blocks for now, so that just the other one can come up. So that's it. And then I'm going to copy and paste this one in my CSS code. And the next thing I want to do is to do the same thing for the content area. The content area, I can actually just apply a display flex to the main. And then with this display flex applied to the main, I'll be able to then do a justify on them. Justify, that will be space between, right? Space between. So with that, I have this, right? So I have this and I have this. So I've not given a width to this one. So I'm going to apply a width to this. So this one should fill the rest, right? So this is about content. The width is about, let me say 70%, right? So we can apply width of 70%, this guy. And then the sidebar, we can make this 30% instead, or maybe 20% and 80%, or maybe even, I think 15 is even, maybe 10% and about 80%, right? 10% and 80%, or 88%, that's 98, right? Almost 100. So we can do that, then we can refresh, we get this. So now the next thing we want to do is to space them out, make them look nice, and then let's do that. So let me go into my A. The href, I want to remove the styling that comes by default. So I'm going to go in there and say text decoration none. That text decoration is what removes the underline. Then the next thing I want to do, let me change this to something else, maybe bottom instead, right? And then I can change the li also, vertical align on the li's. I can change it to, where is bottom? Bottom. And the next thing is to space it out. The icon is still not moving. Is the icon I'm trying to move? Okay, it's not okay. I really thought it's as tall as the text. It's the text that is smaller. All right, so let's see how much text we have here. The text is vertically aligned and it's small. All right, so let's do that. So I'm going to go in here, go into our li or into our a. But these a's are the a's inside our li. So I will style this uniquely with that kind of class name. A, the HA, the anchor tags inside our li, inside our ULs. Those are the guys I'm talking to. So I want to space them out. So I'm going to say, the display is flex, the justify content is space between, push them apart, space between, and then I'm going to, okay, no, maybe not space between, maybe flex start. Oh, that will not work. I want to still push this guy away from it. I might have to give this guy a span or something, because I can't control, because this home now, this text is in isolation. What I mean is isolation is that it's not wrapped around any element, so I can't really control it. And it's giving me headache. It's driving me crazy. So this home, all of these texts, I need to be able to shift them away from this guy without necessarily pushing them to the, making them right aligned. So maybe what I can do instead is to add a padding around the icons themselves. So that might work. Yeah, that should work. So I can add a padding around the icons. So let's apply to the material icons inside the UL, inside the LI, inside the A. We can put some padding around them, which is about a 10 pixel to the left and right. Yeah, so or just say right, just padding right, 10 pixel. Yeah, so that will shift it away. Yeah, good, that works. That works. So that's another way of doing it. So there's no one way of writing CSS, like I told you in the last class. You just find the best way to approach or make sense of what you're trying to do. So apart from that, I need a bit of spacing around this A still. Can do align content center here, and then I can do a bit of padding around it. Yeah, something like that. And then what else do I need? That's it. I've already done this as vertical align middle. What else do I need? This is here, this is here, this is here. Yeah, so that's it. So I can add the background color. I think there is a background color somewhere here. Okay, but this background color stretches the entire width of the div, right? The entire width of the div. So let's find out what that width is. So I'm going to have to find out, this is the LI. So there is a UL that shifts everything away from the wall on the left. So I'm going to have to remove that margin. There's an artificial margin that comes with a UL, right? I'm going to have to remove that. So if you look at right here, there is a, where is that margin now? One of them. So all I need to do is remove margin 0, padding 0. Once I do that, I'm going to lose that margin on the left. And now I can apply my background color to the LIs, right? So I have my LI here, and the background color is not to all of them though. I think it's the active one. So I'm going to have a class called active, right? So I will add that shortly. So let me just quickly paste this one I did here. That's on line 59. Line 59, where are you? So I'm going to replace this. Then I'm going to refresh just to get a sense of what I've been doing so far, because I think I've not copied some things. All right, so I've not copied some things, I've lost them. So I think it's on the, I'm not sure which one I lost now. I think it's on the LIs. So I'm going to apply again the UL LIs. I think there is a padding I applied of about 10 pixel. There is a justify. There's a display I added, which is flex. And then the justify align item center, justify content center. Right? No, not center. That can't happen. Let's see. I think it's on the A now. It's on the A. The A that is inside the UL, inside the LI. I apply a bit of display flex on it, and then I justify the guy as center, right? No, that's not what I did. I'm trying to remember what makes, let me see, the base is aligned. This is the UL, LI. The base of the icon is not touching, it's not the same as that other guy. So maybe it's a vertical line actually. Vertical line middle or bottom. Let's see which one. Vertical line middle. Let's see a vertical alignment, what that would do for us. Okay, that's not also bringing it down. So I need the base, the LI is right there. The A, oh, the A is not, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. The A is not big enough. Okay, so let's bring this back. Let's bring this back. And then let's add a bit of padding around it. We've done that already. Okay. What did I apply? I'm trying to remember what was that. Someone can help me if you have an idea of what I need to do to align. I have an LI, I have an A. Okay, so what I can do is to refresh again, just to refresh myself. Yeah, so I need to remove the text decoration on the A's. I'm going to go ULLIA text decoration on, just to remove all of that underlined stuff. Yes, then the next thing I want to do, maybe add a bit of padding around the A themselves. On the A themselves, And then let me see what they look like now. Oh, that's too small. That's too tiny. Okay, maybe I should add a bit of padding on this one also on all sides. That is not there. Okay, let me just space out the LIs uniquely. All right, so let me spread out this one uniquely. That'll be fine for me. Then I want to drop the background color like I said before. Not on all of them, on the active one. So I'm going to have to add something called active to each of the active class. So this only applies to the active, the one with the background color. All of them we have the padding, all the ULLIs, we have the padding, right? But only the one with the class of active, we have the background color. So I'm going to go back in there and make this first one active. That's how it works. But JavaScript is able to control which one is active in real time when you now start doing a mouse over. So I'm going to refresh this now, and then we get this. What's my text decoration? My text decoration has disappeared again. Let me just do it globally for the A's. I'm not copying everything correctly. So I'm going to remove text decoration globally from all my A's, right? I'm going to remove that. If I refresh, they should be gone. Yeah. So let's go back and see. What I'm trying to do is an alignment on the center. So what I can do, I think my headache really, which I think I'll finally have to still battle with, is this. I need to make these guys have their own control because I can't control them right now. That's why I'm stressing. I can't control them. So let me wrap them in a span so that I'm able to control them as an element of their own. I need to wrap them in a span because right now they're just floating as a test who has no parent. So I'm going to have to wrap them in a span. So that way it's easy to control them and give them what I want to give them. That's why I was just struggling now. So I'm not going to struggle like that again. So I'm going to remove this thing that is here. Okay, so that's a span. And the last one, I'm going to wrap this span also, right? So that's a span. And then, so now that we have all spans around them, I think they should just be controllable like every other thing. So now I have a span here. I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. href, li, href. That's a decoration, middle none. Yeah, so I can make my a ullia, right? Ullia can be as good as this. Yeah. So we can control these spans now. So all my span inside my ullia can be controlled. So I can space them out as I want now. It's easy to control now. So I can space them out, you know, on the vertical side. This is it, yeah. Okay, even this one needs to come down. Where is the vertical line on this guy? Vertical line. Aha, that's it. Yeah. So line 71, vertical line bottom, line 71. Line 71, where are you? 71. Yeah. So that's it. So now if you want to change all of these icons, you can do that on your own. So let's quickly deal with the right-hand side, which will take us about 10 minutes, and that will be the end of this class. So I'm just going to take one of them and I will duplicate it over. Okay, there's something up here that you can also deal with. Don't forget, let me just copy the text, a few of the text, all live wealth. So I think you should not have to do that. Maybe I should not bother about that. That's the way I didn't want to bother about it before. So you can copy all of this. Okay, don't let me copy that. So come right here. On top of the content, there are two sections. There is this div up there that says, we can call it like categories or something. So like I said, anytime you see a list of items, always use a, what's it called now? Always use a list. Anytime you see some set of items following each other. So I'll call these categories and category, right? So always use something like this. So you can duplicate like that. You have live, you have wealth, you know, and all of that. You have wealth, and then it goes on and on and on. Music, you know, and all of that. So that's how to do it. That's how to do it. So get used to using these ULLIs for anything that follows each other like this. Public speaking. So if you check this now, you can easily style it. This one is very easy. You know, it goes right there. Okay, I think our main is not even coming to the right hand side. So these are sidebar, these are content main, sidebar, content main. Okay, I've not given this display line block. So now it's on the side. So that's what is missing. That's what is missing here. Line 68. Line 68. I didn't give it display line block. So now that is done, these guys need to come on a straight line and be styled. I give them a class name already of categories. So what you need to do is go to your ULLIs and tell your ULLI inside your category. Don't forget that you need to know how to do parenting like this. So my ID is category. My UL is inside the div with the ID of category. That's why I'm able to say UL inside the ID of category, right? So now that being said, I can tell my, what's it called now? These guys here, these LIs to be, let me go back up a step and then add this. Okay, so the LI categories, I can tell them to be displayed in line block and then they will all stay on one line as you have expected already. As you can see that, and then the next thing I want to do is to bring them up, which will probably be on the vertical align top. Come on now, vertical align top, right? And then copy this, take it into your code, paste it where you need it to be, and then go into the UL itself, apply a vertical align top to it, and then go into the category and also do that. So go into the category and vertical align top. Content, hold on a second, main. Okay, so it's the main I need to apply vertical align top also. Okay, something is not still moving up. This is the main, this is the sidebar, the content. Is somebody having justified content here? It needs to go up, it needs to go up, it needs to go up. Let me see, hold on a second. I want to see the arrangement. This is the main area. This is the sidebar on the left. Okay, so let me apply display flex to this guy. I'm just shift it up. Display is flex. Then of course already up now that is flex. Yeah, so that's it. That's what's missing. That's on the main area on line 14. Main area on line 14. Where is that? Let me see. Let me just copy it, paste it at the bottom, somewhere on line 14, right? So let me refresh again. Then the next thing you want to do is to quickly style the round circle nature of that. And then we can do that. So the classes are all categories. So you can just give it a background of gray, like you saw already. Then you can give it a border radius of about 10 pixels or more, something like that, maybe something like this, 15 or 20. Then you want to do spacing in between them, maybe like I don't know how big that was just now, something like that. And the margin of about maybe 10 or something, like 5. Yeah, something like that. Let me see, just take a peep. Okay, there's a border around them also. There's a border around them. So you want to take a border around them. So border by 1 pixel solid. So now I'm sure people are getting tired already. So I'm just going to try as much as possible to be fast so we can wrap up and then we can take questions. So this is what the border looks like, maybe this. So I think even the color of the background is lighter. So let me gonna make it lighter. Just gonna make it lighter, something like that, yeah. So and then I'm gonna make this a bit also lighter. Just click on it and make it lighter, something like that. Yes, we're getting close. So you can copy all of this styling. Like I said, I like this real-time nature of doing my work so that it's when you do it real time like this, for me, I don't know, it's fun. Unlike, you know, doing it here and refreshing. Just style everything in the console area here, see it in real time and then copy and paste, right? So let's shift all of this away from the left. So that category itself, I'm going to just margin left away from the left there. So everything has some spacing right there, something like that. Or you can just even pad it from the left. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to refresh and lose that. Yeah. So what I'm going to do instead is to finish up on the remaining area. Then I'm going to pad it off from there. So I'm going to do this. So let's do this main area. So we just have an image. We have a title. So with JavaScript, you can achieve this when we get to JavaScript. You can see the way it's zoomed out. That's a JavaScript animation called scale. So there is an animate in, it scales out. So you can achieve that with JavaScript, but we won't do that tonight. We're going to do that in JavaScript. It scales out, that's animation. On over, it scales out. So, but let's just deal with the HTML CSS. So we have an image, we have a text, we have a text. So I'm just going to copy this so that I don't waste time typing. Copy all of this, paste it. So if you look at the structure of what we have in the, where is it now? In the category section, below the category section, we have another section called the video, let's call it the video area, which is where we are now, the video section or something like that. Then inside of the video section, we have all the videos. They are similar, so you can use a class because they're going to be similar styling. Call it the video itself, video, or call it, I don't know, video card, maybe video card, right? In that video card, you notice that you have an image first. In the video card, you have an image first. Below the image, that I just analyzed to you, below the image, you have a title, right? So you can have, no, below the image, you have a div. So you can call that div maybe a title section or something like that, title card, right? In that title card, you have a small text, which is US testing is new, blah, 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 gigantic, something. Then below that title, you have a small paragraph, which has flunktos, which is the name of the guy. All of this will be coming from API in JavaScript, right? So we're using API to put all of this data. Then you have another small section, which is made up of 2 links. I can just call them spans for now. The first span is 3.5 million views, 3.5 million views. And then the second span, just duplicate this. Oh no. What happened to my stuff? Okay, so the second span is 3 months ago, right? So that's it. So that's the structure of the video section, the video card, the image thumbnail, the title card, the H3P, and all of that. And then this can be replicated, this entire thing can be replicated over and over and over again. So that's what we're going to do. So let's quickly grab one of these, their images. So I'm going to copy the image address just to not waste time. I'm going to drop that there. I have the image already. I have my title, I have my design. There's an icon right here that I missed, sorry. Copy image address for the icon. It's an icon right that I missed. That icon is beside. So inside the title card, it's actually made up of 2 sections again, because I can see that it's 2 halves, right? So you have the left side of the title card where the image is, and then you have the right-hand side. You have the right-hand side that houses the text, right? So that's the way it is. So inside here is, come on now, don't do that. So inside this left-hand side is where you have the image with the icon for the, I don't know what that is now. Who is annotating on my screen? So we have the left-hand side where you have something like the, let's call it, what's that thing called? Is it the channel icon now or something? I think it's channel thumbnail. Let's just call it channel image, something like that, right? This channel image, and then you have the right-hand side where you have the channel description, right? Channel description. So let's style this. I know you are tired. It's about 1 hour now or more. It's 1.5 hours actually. But we should be done in a very short time, and then we can all go to bed. Right? Are you guys, do you want me to continue or do you want us to stop? Everybody, do you want us to continue or you want us to stop?
Continue.
Continue, sir.
So continue, sir.
All right.
Continue, sir.
Okay. The eyes have
All right.
it.
It's going to be very, very, very ugly. Let me just refresh. It's going to be very ugly. You can see it's ugly, but it's close. So let's start styling it. So the first thing you want to do is to create a card. As you can see here, the number of images you have here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means you need a row of 4 columns, right? A row of 4 columns. All right, so that's what you want to do. So to get 4 columns, all you need to do is look at your divs and break it into sizable columns, 4 of them. So like I said, this can be done very easily with Bootstrap, but know how this thing, even Bootstrap is written on top of pure CSS, so know how raw CSS works. So this is the video section, right? This is the video card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my video card. What percentage you need to divide 100% to get 4 cards? It's about 25%. So I'm going to make my video card about 23% because I always like to leave room for the paddings and the margins. So I'm going to call this 23%, right? So that's the width of my video card. I'm going to say overflow hidden because I want to hide everything else that is outside of my video card. So I'm hiding everything else, right? I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it within my CSS page, and then we move on. So the next thing I want to do is to fit in my image into my card, into the video card, right? So I'm going to go into my image, and then I'm not going to talk to all the images. I'm going to talk to the image inside my video card. You see the way I'm attacking the CSS. So if I just click on the plus sign, because image does not have a class of its own, it's going to trigger the tag of the IMG. And if you style the IMG, you're going to be talking to all the images on your page, which is not what you want because this logo is an image. And some other images you will have later, you don't want to do that. So you want to target only the image inside the video card class. So that being said, the image width is going to be 100%. Oh, so now there's a problem because now there are 2 images inside my video card, into my video card. So it's talking to the 2 of them, but I don't want that to happen. So let me see why it's talking to the 2 of them. Okay, they are both inside. There is one, there's a channel image and there's the, okay, so I have to give this guy a class now because I don't want it to talk to all of them. So now I can't isolate just that one. So I want to go back and give this guy a class. So this one is the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail, right? So let's call the thumbnail. So now that I have that, I can just say the video card thumbnail, video card thumbnail is 100%. And then that fits the image into the stuff, right? So that's it. So the next thing you want to do is to, let's see what the next thing is. We want to create this spacing around this image and make these 2 guys stand side by side. So that's all. So all you need to do, anytime you want to make stuff stand side by side, just give them what's it called now? Give them width and give them display line block. They will do just that because it's the div that is making them not to stand side by side, the div that they are inside, right? So I'm going to trigger this guy. I'm going to call it width of maybe about 10%, and then display inline block. Excuse me, overflow hidden. Right, so 10% is quite small, so I'm going to make it about 15%. Maybe 20%. Yeah. So I'm going to copy that, paste it in my code. Then the second one, I can't remember the name we call the second thing. Now the second one is a channel description. The same thing, just give it inline, display inline block. And you can see that come to the top. So just give me a 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds. I want to drink a bottle of water. I think I'll be talking for the past 1.5 hours. All right, thank you. So let's get started again. So we have our display line block. We have, where are we? I'm trying to find where we are. All right, channel description. So we can copy channel description and then we can paste it within our code. And then the last thing you want to do there is to do vertical align. I love doing that vertical align because as you can see, when you use display line block, sometimes things get to sit at the bottom of the screen. They just take on their own vertical alignment. So I'm going to vertically align this to the top, as you can see that. And then I'm going to do the same for the second one so that they are both vertically aligned to the top. So I'm going to drop this here and drop this here. So that's that. The last thing you want to do is the spacing between each of these texts, I think is wide because of the header we are using here, because we are using an header. As you can see, okay, I think the spacing is there, but it's not just that much, but it's there. So you can reduce the spacing. So we start with the H here as an artificial spacing. We want to reduce that. Padding is 0, margin is 0, and that should reduce that spacing. And then you want to go to the P also. I think I'll just do that for one of them. So the P and the H. So I'm going to do that. So both of them should reduce. So now that they are reduced, I can manually space them out myself. I can just do a bit of the spacing I need, something like that. Then I can copy this and take it to my styling and paste this right here. And the last thing I want to do is to keep a space around everything. I think there is a bit of a background. Is there a background? No, it's just right there. And there is a circle around all the icons. So you already know how to do that. Go to the image. The image itself is called thumbnail. Okay, that's not thumbnail. This is channel image. Channel image. I'm going to go into channel image. Channel image. How's that written? Channel image. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and go into the image and paste that out and paste it behind it. And then border radius is 50%. Then that you want to get a circular shape, just make it 50%. That's all. Border radius 50% will give you a circular shape, right? Then the last thing you want to do is to create a space around everything now. So we're going to create a space around everything, which is the title card right there. So I'm going to go to title card and give it a padding all around 10 pixel. You can see that. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah. You can paste that out. So that's it. So now you want to now shift the entire thing again away from the wall, right? So go into the entire container, which is the video section, and then you can shift all of that out also, maybe like a 20 pixel there. Yeah, that's it. But you can even do it on the entire content actually, not even the, so this one can have its own, but the entire content needs to be shifted by that, spacing, 20 pixel. Yeah, so that's it. And then the video section, 20 pixel. Yeah, so that's it. So you have the video section and then we have the content. I'm going to use the same thing for the two of them. Content. So now we have this. So all we need is to replicate this and we have our YouTube page. So go back to your YouTube, copy the video card, which is what is being replicated. Just copy it, and then you can paste as many as you want. And you should have your video card. Where's my video card? Video card is thumbnail. Video card is this, and there's a margin bottom of about 10 pixel. All right, so if you refresh this now, you should get all of this. So the last thing you want to do is not, all of them are not standing on a straight line. So you want to do a flex on the video section so that all of these guys, you can see their display is blocked. So they are not still, you can either do a display line block, you can do a display line block, or you do a flex. If you do display line block, it stand side by side, because you can see already. So you can do that, but you can also do flex. So I'm going to increase the margin around it just to space it out. That's why I use 23%. So if I use the margin, you can see it's well spaced out and looking all good. That's video card. Is that the video card? What was that just now? Video card, yes, video card. All right, so that's it. So I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna refresh this, and then this is what we have. So the last thing is that this thing scrolls while the header and the footer stays. That's the last thing I want to show you how to do. So it scrolls. So let me just duplicate to have more of these guys so that you have enough content to scroll. I'm going to just close this and duplicate again. Copy, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. You can have as many pictures as you want to get. And then these guys on the left sidebar here, let's just, where are they again? Okay, these guys. So let's also duplicate these guys so that we have enough of them. Right, so we have that, we have that, we have that, we have that. All right, so this is what we have. All right, so don't forget that these icons can change. Just go into material icon and make sure you painstakingly look through all of these icons, guessing what their names will be and searching for the right one and then using it, you know, as appropriately. So for example, this one is explore. You can just go to material icon, look for explore, do a Control F, search for explore, explore. Explore. As you can see, explore is there. So all you need to do is change. So I'm just showing you that that is not hard to do. So don't say I don't know how to find it. So look for explore, for example, and just change it to explore. Once you change no, that's not what you change. Okay, that's it. That's correct. Once you change the name, what am I changing the right thing? Okay, I think I'm not changing the right. This is the explore here. Right? Explore. And then maybe this one is video or something. So just look for the right thing and change it so that at least it looks a bit neat and you know you can say it, right? So this explore. The third one was what's that again? I don't know what that is. Looks like, but don't look for something that I'm putting there. Let me just put something for the third one. So I'm gonna put let me look for video. There is no video. Is there a video? Music video. I'm gonna just copy music video and put it there. Music video. All right. So why I'm describing this is because I want to do the scroll bar thing. If you can see here, everything scrolls, but that's not what YouTube does. It does not. Everything does not scroll. YouTube does not scroll, you know, in its entirety like this. YouTube does not scroll. So you want to fix the left and the top. So what you do is right-click on the section you want to fix. For example, the head here, you want to fix it. You can go in there in the head and then say position is fixed. Right? You can say position is fixed. Before I do position is fixed though, I will need to add something to the sidebar. Let me refresh that. Okay, so let's look at it. So now I want to go into, I've seen 32 charts. Can you raise your hand before you leave? Cool. A lot of banter is going on in my chat box. Jesus is Lord. Okay, do we have questions up until now? Do we have questions up until now? Any questions, anybody? It's almost 11. Wow.
Yes,
No,
sir.
All right. Go ahead, please ask your question. I think I want to stop here because I can see that it's already very late here. I'm getting some signal from my end. I need to wrap up. I have passed that way. Should be on the time allotted to us. So I'm getting signals here. So I need to wrap up now. Right. So can you ask your question and then we'll conclude here and then we'll continue in the next class in JavaScript. So like I said in JavaScript class, what we'll be doing is making this, all of these things are going to be coming dynamically from APIs. All of these all live wells, we're going to be fetching it from the database, from the backend. All of these sidebars, all of these videos, then the search icon will work, the filters will work, submission buttons. You know, we'll try to do as much as we can in JavaScript. So any questions? Ajala, you have a question. Do you have a question?
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible enough.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. This is the first time I'm attending class, and I enjoyed the class. It's just that I don't know if this is how all the other classes are like we just watch and get to see, like me, I'm a beginner, so some of the things they were like new to me, and I don't know if there's an avenue for us to still get to learn one or two things besides this professor.
So this is the fifth class. And in the because it's the fifth class, I just mute your mic. So this is the fifth class, and what we're doing here is practicing all we've learned in the first two classes. So in the very first class, we were introduced to HTML CSS. So I think you need to watch that video, and then we've been trying to emphasize that. So in that first class, that's where we took our time to explain all the HTML tags. This is a paragraph, this is an header, these are tables, this is a form, this is that, right? So you need to go and watch. So if you're just joining this class, it means you've missed the first class, the second class. So in the second class, we talked about CSS. I shared even an HTML cheat sheet. I shared a CSS cheat sheet. I shared all of those documents, and then there's a self-paced video on the online course. If you go to our site, I think if you go to our site, this is the course, right? So there is a video here that you're supposed to see. In fact, two of them, right, that you can play. There is a self-lecture HTML basic that is on something you can watch for about 1 hour or so. It will teach you all the basic thing you've missed. And then also what we're going to do is that those two first lectures, can you hear me? So the first HTML lecture that we did on the 4th of September, we're going to drop the link so that when you click on go to class here, it's going to allow you play that video. We're going to put the video here and on YouTube also so that you can watch the video. So what I'm saying in essence is that this is not how the classes have been, right? This is a practical class for those who have been, participating since day one. So this is not how the class has been. The very first class was very basic. We were taking you through step by step how HTML works, introducing to HTML. The second class was about CSS. And then from the third class, we started doing practicals. In fact, in the third class, I also did Surge and GitHub. So you've missed a lot. That's the simple truth. So you need to go back and watch all the videos from the past and then try to catch up to where we are now. I believe if you can watch these two videos here, and including all of the ones we've done in the past, you should be able to understand what we're doing today. Did that answer your question? So this is not how the classes have been. It's just that we've gone further than where you are joining us. Kingsley, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, sir, my question is based on the previous assignment that was given and the such this issue.
Yeah.
You explained that we should use that search in a way that if you can point it to a folder, and when giving a directory to any of those HTML files in that folder, you can have access to it, which is. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, which we can point the directory to it, and maybe you have something like only the HTML part will be the default, but any other folder, any other file that you now attach HTML to will now be directed, as in you can now call that file using your backward slash to call the file name. So, but now you use Ubina's the way Ubina arranged Zoom to give an example, because the way I did my own was how you explain it to us. Because on my own now, you can point to the sign up. You can also use it to check the Google landing page as well as the Facebook landing page, while just putting facebook.html and google.html, while the landing page is the default, which is the index.
So what's your question?
No, the question was because of the way he arranged his own. On the start of this class, you just explained that is how the format should be.
I understand. So let me answer. So this is your own, Kingsley, right? So the issue here is that if I do this, I will only be able to access the index.html of your page, which is this one. But because I'm not in your folder, I will not be able to see the other pages right here. I don't know whether they are called. If you can see now, I wouldn't know that this guy will call one of these pages fast book shopping assignment 1. So assuming everybody named their own, like I prescribed, google.html, facebook.html, fact, this is actually Facebook that calls Fastbook. So the thing is that I can't see into your folder because I need to know the name of that your file before I can manually reach all of them.
Yeah,
Do you
that's just
understand?
the name. Each of the file I just give the facebook.html. The other one is
Exactly.
gov.html.
So if I'm able to, if you follow the convention, I'm able to just do this. I know there's a page that exists like this. You get it? So this works. But for those who are naming their own unusual names, if I type facebook.html in their own base URL like this, it will not give me facebook.html because they call their own Fastbook. I'll be face. You understand what I mean? So that's why if you don't follow the convention, I didn't name it properly, you need to give me the exact name you call it so I can reach that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's it. So for those like this now, it's better I list it out like this so that I can know exactly the names of the pages. But for you that your names are conventional, I can just type Facebook and I get Facebook. I can type Google, I get Google. I can type this simple login page. I think I probably is your index.
Yeah. Yes, that's the
All right.
index.
So that's correct. So that's what I would do. So for all of the other ones here, for example, if this person now didn't, this person also has an index of HTML. Now let me see if we follow the convention and we have a Facebook page. Okay, so you can see the person now no Facebook page. So maybe it's actually there, but he called it something else, which I don't know. So that's why I think the answer is clear now. So if I can't know what is in there without you telling us, right? But if you follow the convention, I can easily reach it.
Okay, sir.
All right. So any other question? I think that will be all. I need to go right now. It's like almost 11. We've spent a lot of time. I want to appreciate all of you. So the JavaScript class commences when? Can't remember. Let me just check quickly. JavaScript class starts. So the bootcamp starts in November, right? And the assessment will be after the JavaScript class. And the assessment, like I said, will be online. It will be online in real time. You're going to have to come online. You will pick a date. Usually we use Calendly. So we will set up the start date and the end date of the available slots from Calendly. And then everybody will pick their prescribed preferable time. So you can pick maybe 10 to 11, 11 to 12, whatever time. So you pick a time slot within the day that you're available. So some interviewers will come online and then we'll give you a task. And then in real time, you are going to have to do that task in real time while we watch your screen. And then it's going to be recorded. Like the way we're recording now, let me just stop recording now because I think I'm saying some other personal stuff that are not related to the classic.